What's up, vinyl community? This is Drop the Needle Records, and I'm coming at you this week with the top 5 Metallica albums in my collection. So last week I ranked albums 11 through 6 in my collection, and if you would like to check that video out, I'm going to leave a link down below. And the only studio album I don't have in this collection is Hardwired to Self-Destruct. But before I get started, if you would, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell. It really helps the channel out. But let's get to why you came here, and that is doing the top 5 Metallica albums in my collection. So coming at number 5 is an album that I wasn't real familiar with. I haven't listened to it a lot, and when I started thinking about doing these 2 videos about the top Metallica albums in my collection, I started going through all these albums, and this one I just kept listening to. So number 5 is Death Magnetic. This came out in 2008, and this album, the more I listen, the more I love it. It has that really old school Metallica vibe in it. Many of the songs really hit hard when you listen. And some of the favorites on there for me is That Was Just Your Life, The End of the Line, All Nightmare Long, which is probably my favorite on the album, The Judicious, Suicide and Redemption, and My Apocalypse. So if you haven't really paid a lot of attention to Death Magnetic, check it out. I really enjoyed it. And my son actually was like, I don't really know that Metallica album. And we started listening to it a lot together too. All right, number 4 might be a little bit of a controversial, but how I'm ranking these albums is from start to finish. And I kind of had a little list going. And this one came in at number 4. And number 4 is Ride the Lightning, 1984. Again, it might be controversial for some. They might think that this is their best. But this album, I love it to death. Just a few others that I like a little bit more. But I remember just listening to this, and I really love this album from start to finish too. There's a couple songs that are just okay for me, but let's go over some of my favorites. Fight Fire with Fire has a great beginning. Ride the Lightning, the title track, has great guitar solo. For Whom the Bell Tolls, one of my absolute favorites. My son's favorite too, because one of his favorite wrestlers comes out to it, and that's Nick Gage from GCW. Fade to Black is one of my faves is too, and Creeping Death. So number 4 is Ride the Lightning. Number 3, I have Kill 'Em All, their 1983 album. This is a metal album. This is where it all started. This album is so great. They are so young here. They're thrashing, just playing really hard. The more I listen to this album, the more I love it. They're just so young when they sing, and James, in his voice, you could, listening to him sing now and compared to when he first started, he's like a baby. But some of my favorites on here are Hit the Lights. The guitars just absolutely slap. James, of course, has really high vocals in that. 4 Horsemen, the guitars are great in that as well. Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth, great opening, and the drums just kill in that song. Whiplash, Phantom Lord, old school heavy rock feel. No Remorse is probably one of my favorites on the album too. Seek and Destroy, oh man, Seek and Destroy is such a great song, one of my absolute favorites. And Metal Militia hits real fast too, real hard. This whole album slaps. I mean, it's just great. So if you haven't heard Kill 'Em All, do it. Number 2, probably for some might be like, how do you have that at number 2? But for me, again, I did a ranking from beginning to end, and number 2 for me is Injustice for All, 1988. This is the album that got me into Metallica. James's vocals on this album, he just sounds more mature. The whole sound of it's great. The band sounds real polished. I love it. My favorites on here are Blackened. The guitar and drums are great. Lars just shines on this for sure. And Justice for All, the title track. Eye of the Beholder, one of my favorite Metallica songs on here for sure. Again, if you've listened to my videos, it's one of the songs that got me into Metallica for sure. It's actually the song that got me into Metallica. One is just still my favorite Metallica song. Shortest Straw, Harvester of Sorrow, which is a great song. The Frayed Ends of Sanity, To Live is to Die, Dyer's Eve. That song just thrashes. This whole album from start to finish is amazing. If you haven't listened to it in a while, listen to it. And, you know, it's kind of hard not to go right to one, I know, but this whole album slaps for me. So if you've paid attention, that means my number 1 album is Master of Puppets. Master of Puppets from 1986. This is just a great album. It's a banger. Just Metallica at their absolute finest for me. Some of my favorites on here are Battery, has a Mexican vibe with the acoustic guitar in the beginning. Master of Puppets, probably my second favorite Metallica song. Welcome Home, Disposable Heroes, and Orion. Orion is so good. And Damage Incorporated or Damage Inc. So those are the top 5 Metallica albums in my collection. Also, those are the Metallica. So if you've watched from start to finish, those are my top 11. I definitely want to know what you think about my list. What's your list? What would be your top Metallica album in your collection? Or period, doesn't have to be in your vinyl, it can be any Metallica album. But that's my list. Again, I love interacting with everyone. Just please reach out, talk to me, give me some ideas for some other videos. I still have a few ideas that I'm going to be coming out with in the next few weeks for sure. But again, like, comment, and describe down below. It really helps the channel out. But till we see each other again, vinyl community, peace.